What do you want to be when you grow up? Well, ask that to a little black girl being raised in the Bronx. Not sure how many would say, I want to grow up to be one of the world's foremost experts in arms control and nuclear nonproliferation. But yes, the Bronx to the Biden administration was the journey for our barrier-breaking next guest.
That's right. Her name is Jenkins, and she is the Undersecretary of State for Arms Control and International Security, the first African-American to achieve that title of Undersecretary of State. She has an impressive resume in diplomacy and security around chemical, biological weapons and weapons of mass destruction, and certainly all of that, unfortunately, is very relevant today. Joining us now is Undersecretary Bonnie Jenkins. Undersecretary, thank you so much for being with us, madam. The sanctions, let's talk about Russia. The sanctions have not stopped Vladimir Putin and his attack on Ukraine. And unfortunately, we have seen growing civilian deaths, entire cities being destroyed. Where do you see this? How do you see this ending?
Well, I really see it. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me here this afternoon. I really appreciate it. And basically, we see this as ending in a way in which Putin will fail and so Russia will fail. You know, no matter how many casualties happen, no matter how many negative things happen, you're not winning the hearts and minds of the Ukrainians.
This quote from the UN Secretary General, the prospect of nuclear conflict, once unthinkable, is now back within the realm of possibility. Given your work to make sure, again, your title has arms control in it, but given a statement like that, it gives kind of a lot of us lay people chills. But for someone with your expertise and your knowledge, when you hear something like that, what do you think, and are you in agreement that that is something in the realm of possibility?
Well, first of all, I think it's very irresponsible for Russia to be making those kind of statements. They have not been threatened with nuclear weapons. We have not put our troops of NATO into Ukraine. So it's an irresponsible statement. But I want people to understand that there is continued to be a norm against the use of nuclear weapons. There continues to be a treaty called the Non-Proliferation Treaty that has a number of states, over 180 states that are party to it. There's still a strong belief in not using nuclear weapons. So one of the things that we really wanted to do, and we heard that, was to really tamp down the concern from countries and from everyone about hearing the nuclear rattling from Russia, which, as I said, was a very irresponsible thing to say, considering that no one's really been threatening them with those kind of weapons.
Madam Undersecretary, there was a very powerful moment in Geneva earlier this month when the Russian foreign minister was there, began to speak at a Human Rights Council. Well, the Ukrainian ambassador walked out, and then you, along with 100 other diplomats, did the same. Take us back to that moment. What was it like, and did you hesitate at all?
Yeah, so just for one quick clarification, there were actually two walkouts that day. One was at the Commission on Human Rights. The other was actually at the conference on disarmament, which is also in Geneva, which was also, as I say, meeting on the same day. And so we also walked out on that. And you know, it was amazing to see how many countries represented were walking out. It was such a strong feeling of solidarity, a strong feeling of support for Ukraine. We stood outside with them as they held the flag and talked about the unprovoked actions by Russia in Ukraine. It was really a feeling of solidarity that was really strong amongst all the people that walked out.
And man, we want to turn here. Of course, we've been talking about women's history this month, and here you are, a woman making history. And I talked at the beginning, as the introduction, that you went from the Bronx to now one of the world's foremost experts in this area of arms control and nuclear nonproliferation and making sure weapons of mass destruction are kept safe and we're not proliferating. So you kind of accidentally got into it, but at the same time, what would you tell a little girl that looks like you and young women coming up that maybe it's not what you planned, but to not necessarily turn your head to or the thought against, because you could have easily done that, say, hey, this is not what women like me or women do or black women do, but you stuck with it and now here you are.
Yeah, I would say, you know, first of all, keep open opportunities. You know, you never know what can happen. You never know where you'll find yourself. As you said, I didn't intend to work in this area. You know, I knew I wanted to work in public service. That's the one thing I did want to do, which led me to working in Washington, D.C. But I totally fell into the field without really planning it or knowing it, or even having grown up with anyone in my area or in my family working on these issues. But I think the important thing is to, if you do want to find something, if you do find something you want to do, to be committed to it. I think it's very important, and I take it very seriously being in this role, being a role model for other young black women or young people of color who want to do something in this field. It's so important to see people who look like yourself in the field or look like yourself doing something, because it gives you that feeling that I can do it too. So I feel very seriously about doing that, but I would always encourage young people of color who have often so many challenges put in front of them, to believe in yourself and believe in what you want to do and follow your passion, but also keep yourself open to opportunities, because you never know what may happen and what may come across your path.
Such important advice. You are leading the way. You are paving the way. Undersecretary Bonnie Jenkins, thank you so much for being here on the program. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.